come, I did not have an intro, but I have the final theme to be revealed for you. It is a magical forest theme. So this kind of encapsulates all of the little things that are sort of magical, kind of spooky. Not so spooky that kids can't do it. It's a kid-friendly kind of spooky, but kind of a darker forest, sort of fairy tale magic sort of stuff. That is what we're going with this theme, and this is also a theme that has a specific area set inside of it, which we're not going to reveal until we get to it, but just know that this isn't just one thing. This goes over into sort of a spin-off area. So I don't know if you have any idea what I'm saying, but trust me, we're gonna get there. So unless the piece count does not let us, but so far, knock on wood, the piece count lets us do everything we want to do. So at first I didn't really know where I was gonna go with it, but it turns out this was very easy to build. This was one of the quickest ones. This was pretty straightforward, and it just came together super easily. I was building it a few evenings ago, and it just flew out of my brain. It worked really, really well. Maybe, and this is a really kind of weird thing to think about. At the time, I'm currently listening to this podcast that like recaps Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So it's kind of in this like mystical sort of creature mood, like sort of dark and sort of like mysterious. So maybe that helped. I don't know. Usually I listen to true crime while building a super cute little artwork enclosure. So, yeah, even if you've never seen Buffy, I personally have seen a bit of Buffy, but not all of it. I really, really loved the PlayStation game when I was a kid. We had weird rules in our house, but I really, really loved the PlayStation game, so I kind of watched some of it because I thought Spike was really cool, but I've never really seen the early seasons when she's still in high school. So if you've never seen it or kind of seen only a little bit, or people have been telling you how cool Buffy is, I can definitely recommend. It's called The Rewatcher Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and if you've ever listened to Morbid, it's the same two ladies that do Morbid. Morbid is a very known true crime podcast. It's in English. I kind of feel like saying that because I think a lot of people listen to podcasts maybe in the language that they usually speak, which for me would be German, but I prefer anything. I listen to everything in English. So, very good podcast. If you're interested in that, and if you are a big fan of Buffy, it's still interesting, and it's really interesting too because because one host was a teenager when Buffy was the coolest thing ever, and the other host is sort of a late 90s baby. I think she's the same age as me, so she kind of knows about it, but she was too young to actually watch it when it was airing. So we have these like two perspectives. So one of them is watching it for the first time for this podcast, and the other one was a huge fan and knows everything about it. So that's really cool. But that's absolutely not what I wanted to talk about. Okay, so back to the topic. I am so excited to do this. This is probably going to be the closest that we're going to get to. Well, not really. I think the closest that we're going to get to Disney-ish is probably going to be the Atlantis thing. And I meant to say that this might have more of a fairy tale princess sort of vibe to it. But I gotta say, I'm not a Disney person at all. Actually, my mom used to say that the channel, because in Germany, it was like a specific TV station that would show Disney stuff, and she'd always say that our TV broke that channel, so we couldn't watch it. But I'm pretty sure it wasn't much about Disney. It was probably more that this channel had advertisements, or a lot more advertisements, and than other kids' channels. So I was not allowed to watch that. So I don't know any Disney movies. I have seen The Little Mermaid as a kid, and I have seen The Lion King on TV at some point. And I did see the new Little Mermaid movie because my best friend apparently really loves The Little Mermaid. She never told me that before, but we watched it in cinema. It was really cool. It was a really cool movie. I think I would have liked Disney movies more if it was like real people. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a cartoon person. But yeah, so now we're bringing in kind of the creepy vibes here in the video. So I kind of remember that it can't just be beautiful foliage. It kind of has to, bring in the spook. And so I think these towers look really, really cool. They're kind of uneven, like crooked and weird, like a witch built them. I don't know. And I quite like that about that. But yeah, you can kind of see me pick stuff from this palette, which is something that I actually wanted to mention. I will release a video of me making the palettes for each and every one of the themes that we have. It will be kind of long and it won't be releasing on a regular day. I'll just throw it in there when I have the time to edit such a long video. But it'll have some tips on how I create my piece palettes and how they help me like get started on a project. So maybe that's for you. And maybe you're just a big fan of the theme parks and you just want to hear more about it. And whatever it is that makes you watch it, you're welcome to. But anyway, I was with the Disney stuff, right? So yeah, absolutely not a Disney kid, so don't expect much Disney out of me in this park. I think I've said it before, but well. So yeah, I think as a kid I would have probably watched Buffy before I would have watched Disney. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like my parents had really weird rules, kind of. Like I had absolutely no rules when I was a teenager to like come home early or something, but I couldn't watch TV on my own until I was like 13. So yeah, I don't know, weird rules. But then with my parents, I'd watch stuff like Friends or King of Queens, so not at all kids friendly. But yeah, I don't know, maybe they just didn't want me to watch advertisement, which yeah, I don't know. But oh my god, it was so weird. The other day I had a group of kids at the zoo. Like I work at a zoo. I don't know. I always feel like saying that in case it's the first video someone watches, in which case you picked a weird video to be the first video you watch. But hey, I'm glad you're here. Anyway, I had a group of kids and there was this one kid that kept mentioning like, I've never been to a zoo. Like every animal we looked at, she's like, I don't think I've ever seen this animal. And then like towards the end, she was like, oh, I've seen all those animals on TikTok. I've just never been to a zoo. And she was like probably like 7 or 8. And to me that was kind of shocking. Not because she's never been to a zoo. Obviously not everyone has the means to do that. Not everyone lives close to one. And I totally understand that. But to kind of hear the perspective of, I know it from TikTok, but I've never seen it in real life. Which obviously I've seen things on the internet that I've never seen in real life. But you know what I mean? Stuff like a zoo, I feel like you don't think of as that to be something like that for a kid. I don't know. It was weird, and I felt like sharing it. But yeah, I also wanted to talk about grapes. I don't know what that was. Like I take notes on what I want to talk about. I wrote grapes. I don't know. So grapes, huh? Great. No, I actually remember, but now I don't have the time to talk about it. But yeah, anyway, there's a few more seconds of music, and then we start a real-time part of looking at our last little theme. All right, see you then. Okay, welcome to this mystical, magical forest. So let us go directly into the discovery mode. I just called it that. I don't think it's called that. So I used these moving butterflies. For some reason, they felt very cute for this. They're just like strewn about here. So I might do something with the butterflies, which wasn't originally planned, but I just really like them. They really fit it. I also really think we should have more things that add movement to it, to just like the builds, And like I've recently seen someone use, I think it was Leaf maybe, use like the kangaroo, the mechanic kangaroo to do like, what are they? What's that called? Like cogs, I think it's called. Like the machine interior. I don't know. This is not what this is about. Anyway, really happy that I, remembered that they exist and use the moving butterflies. I think they add a really nice touch, when they're moving. So obviously those mushrooms were really important for me for building this. They were kind of the inspiration behind the entire thing. And I just really like the yellow and the purple bouncing off each other. And this is what I mean. Like this just kind of just worked, you know? It just worked. And I feel like it's a bit too lush, to be honest. It doesn't really fit the biome that this park is set in, but I can't be bothered with that. I'm really happy with it. And just like these twisty turny vines, like they just they feel so magic and fairy tale. And again with the moon and the circle thingies, they have very, very thin cables connecting them. You know, this is the lore, this is the canon of this park, that all of these ball thingies, they're connected by thin cables. But yeah, I feel like this design is pretty small, but this style I feel like is the best we can have for this. So I don't know, maybe we'll change that, and maybe not. But overall, I'm so happy with how this turned out. One thing I don't like so much is that you really can look into the Hollywood thing. All the other ones are more divided, but this one has this weird bus poking through. So I don't really know what to do about it, because everything that we put here, you can also see from the Hollywood part. So I feel like it's not as bad from here, but it needs something here. I don't know, maybe we'll just put a rock there. It really works from the pirate one out. I don't think this is very weird and distracting, but those two are so close together, which obviously this one was the last that we built, so it couldn't be moved much. But overall, I'm really happy with it. I hope that you agree with that. But let's actually go out of this mode and kind of have an overview of what we're going to be doing next. So I want to work on this, the rest of this little plaza, see if maybe we will put something here still, because this is quite a big space. So we might do another little dome like this one. Because we had several ideas in the comments, and me too, of what to do with the little domes. So I might just put another little dome here, because to fill this area, you know, because it is quite large. And yeah, just finish up this area. Also, the connecting areas are also not done, so we're just gonna work on that. Then obviously we're going to put something into these little domes. We won't finish the souvenir shop. We are going to be finishing the restaurant in here. I still have to redo the interior of this, because if you remember at the beginning of this project, we unfortunately lost the file to this. And then we do a tour. That is, there's our little like in-between point. And then we start working on our themed areas. I'm not sure how. I'm not sure if we're going to go one by one, but now that every of these is released, I will make playlists for each of these. So if you're just interested in one specific theme, you can follow that on its own, or you can follow the entire series, which obviously I prefer. But if you are really just only interested in Hollywood, which by the way, thank you for the amazing feedback on that. I wasn't too sure on this theme, but the feedback was really, really good. So thank you very much. And yeah, we're gonna go a little bit harder still with the pirate theme. Pearly J, who's always a commenter in almost every video, and I'm so glad about that. They had some cool ideas for the pirate area, so we're gonna give it a little bit of a makeover, which we're going to be seeing in the tour. That is hopefully gonna happen within probably like maybe like 2 or 3 episodes of this. But yeah, thank you so much for being so excited for all of the theme reveals. And yeah, now you know all of our themes. Well, there's still one to be revealed in the Magic Forest area that we have done today. But other than that, we know now the main themes. So thank you so much for watching. Let's actually go back to the theme that we were looking at today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support on this series. It really means so much to me, and I hope to see you around another time. Bye!